My beloved child, stop everything you are doing right now. This is not a coincidence. This is not random. You were guided here, pulled here by forces beyond your understanding, because something extraordinary is about to unfold in your life. Archangel Michael says this message has been waiting for you, and you have less than 10 minutes to receive what heaven has prepared for your soul. Do you feel that strange tension in your chest, that unexplained restlessness that has been following you for days, maybe weeks? That feeling that something is about to shift, to change, to transform everything you thought you knew about your destiny. My child, that is not anxiety. That is anticipation. That is your soul, recognizing the approaching miracle that bears your name. Michael says, you have been chosen. Not randomly, not accidentally, but specifically chosen for what is about to happen on this day. The universe has been orchestrating events, aligning circumstances, moving people and situations like pieces on a cosmic chessboard, all leading to this exact moment when you would find these words. Don't skip this message. Don't scroll away. Don't let doubt whisper in your ear that this is just another video, just another spiritual message that doesn't apply to you. Because Michael says you are here, because your guardian angels have been working overtime, sending you signs, synchronicities, and gentle nudges to bring you to this revelation that will change everything. Have you been seeing repeated numbers lately? 111, 333, 555, or 777? Have you been waking up at 3033 a.m. or finding yourself looking at the clock at exactly 11,011? My beloved, these are not coincidences. These are your angels trying to prepare you for what Michael calls the Great Turning, a moment when your entire life pivots from struggle to abundance, from confusion to clarity, from loneliness to divine love. You've been carrying burdens that were never meant to be yours. You've been fighting battles that belonged to other people. You've been accepting limitations that heaven never placed upon your soul. And Michael says the time has come, not tomorrow, not next week, but right now, in the next few minutes, to release everything that has been holding you back from the magnificent life you were born to live. There's something you need to know about why you're here, why you're reading these words at this exact moment. Your departed loved ones, the ones who watch over you from the other side, have been interceding on your behalf. They've been whispering your name in the presence of angels, asking for intervention, asking for breakthrough, asking for the kind of miracle that only happens when heaven decides it's time to move. Michael says, you are not broken. You are not forgotten. You are not lost. You are being prepared. Every disappointment was preparation. Every setback was positioning. Every tear you've shed has been collected in heaven's bottle. And now, those tears are about to be transformed into the sweetest joy you have ever experienced. But you must understand the urgency of this moment. There are forces, both seen and unseen, that do not want you to receive what is coming. There are energies that profit from your confusion, that feed off your doubt, that grow stronger when you believe you are powerless. And these forces are mobilizing right now, trying to distract you, trying to pull you away from this message before you receive the full download that your soul needs. This is why Michael says you have only minutes left, not because heaven operates on human timelines, but because the window of receptivity, the moment when your spirit is perfectly aligned to receive divine intervention, is closing rapidly. Your angels have been working for weeks to create this perfect storm of opportunity, and if you miss it now, it may be months before the conditions are right again. You feel it, don't you? That sense that your life is about to change dramatically. That feeling that you're standing at the edge of something so much bigger than your current circumstances. That knowing, deep in your bones, that breakthrough is not just possible, but inevitable. Michael says that feeling is your soul recognizing truth. That feeling is your spirit acknowledging that your season of struggle is ending and your season of supernatural favor is beginning. Don't let anyone tell you that transformation takes time. Don't believe the lie that miracles happen slowly. In the next few minutes, as you receive this message, heaven is preparing to release blessings that will make up for every delay, every disappointment, every moment when you wondered if you were forgotten. Michael says, your miracle is not coming. It's here. It's in this room with you right now, waiting for you to create the space in your heart to receive it. But before you can receive what heaven has prepared, Michael says there are things you must know. Truths that have been hidden from you. Revelations that will shock you, but ultimately set you free. Because the reason you've been struggling, the reason doors have been closing, the reason opportunities have been slipping through your fingers is not what you think. There has been interference. Spiritual interference designed to keep you small, to keep you doubting, to keep you believing that you are ordinary when heaven knows you are extraordinary. Michael says there are people in your life, and I know this is difficult to hear, who have been speaking against your success. Not necessarily out of malice, but out of their own fear, their own limitations, their own inability to imagine that someone like you could rise to the level heaven has destined for you. These people, some of them close to you, have been planting seeds of doubt in conversations. They've been questioning your dreams, minimizing your potential, suggesting that you should be realistic about your expectations. And every time they speak these words, every time they project their own limitations onto your possibilities, they create what Michael calls atmospheric resistance, a spiritual heaviness that makes it harder for your blessings to break through. But that's not even the worst part. Michael says there are others who have been actively working against you, people who smile in your face but speak curses over your life when you're not around, people who pretend to support you while secretly hoping you fail. These are the ones who have been binding your breakthrough with their jealousy, their envy, their bitter prayers that masquerade as concern. You've felt it, haven't you? That strange exhaustion that comes over you after spending time with certain people. That unexplained sadness that settles on you after certain conversations. That feeling that you're swimming upstream, that everything is harder than it should be. Michael says that's not your imagination. That's your spirit reacting to spiritual warfare that has been waged against your destiny. And the enemy has been using these people, sometimes without them even realizing it, to delay what God has already decreed for your life. Every time someone has told you to lower your expectations, every time someone has suggested that you're dreaming too big, every time someone has made you feel guilty for wanting more, for believing in miracles, for expecting supernatural breakthrough, that was a direct attack on your faith designed to keep you from receiving what heaven has already approved. But Michael says the time of interference is ending. Right now, as you receive this message, angels are being dispatched to disconnect every ungodly soul tie, to break every spiritual chain, to silence every voice that has been speaking against your destiny. The atmospheric resistance is being cleared. The spiritual static is being removed. The interference is being shut down. However, there's something else you need to understand. The reason this breakthrough is happening now, the reason this message found you today, is because you are about to enter what Michael calls the danger zone. This is a period, the next 48 to 72 hours, when your breakthrough will be so close, so tangible, that the enemy will make one final, desperate attempt to stop it. You will be tempted to quit. You will be tempted to give up. You will be tempted to believe that nothing is changing, that this message was just wishful thinking, that you are destined to remain stuck in your current circumstances. The pressure will be intense. The doubt will be overwhelming. The fear will try to convince you that hoping for more will only lead to greater disappointment. Michael says this is not punishment. This is not God testing you. This is the enemy's last stand, his final attempt to steal what heaven has already released for your life. And the only reason he's fighting so hard is because he knows, better than you do right now, just how magnificent your breakthrough is going to be. The signs will be unmistakable. You will experience what feels like everything going wrong at once. Technology will malfunction. People will disappoint you. Plans will fall through. Money will be tighter than usual. You will feel more alone than you have in months. And in those moments, you will be tempted to believe that this message was false hope, that breakthrough was just another spiritual fantasy that never manifests in real life. But Michael says this is precisely when you must hold on tightest. This is when you must remember that the darkness is always most intense just before the dawn. This is when you must understand that breakthrough doesn't come to those who feel ready, but to those who refuse to let go even when they feel completely overwhelmed. There's something else happening that you cannot see with your natural eyes. Your departed loved ones, the ones who have crossed over to the other side, are engaged in spiritual warfare on your behalf. They are fighting for your breakthrough. They are interceding for your miracle. They are standing in the presence of God, showing Him every tear you've cried, every prayer you've prayed, every moment when you felt forgotten. And they are demanding justice on your behalf. Your grandmother, your father, your friend who passed too young, they are not silent observers of your struggle. They are active participants in your victory. And Michael says they have been given authority to intervene in ways that will astound you, to open doors that seem permanently closed, to provide resources that appear out of nowhere, to orchestrate meetings and opportunities that your natural mind could never have arranged. But you must be vigilant. You must be alert. You must recognize that the next few days are critical. The enemy knows that once your breakthrough manifests, once you step into the fullness of what God has prepared, you will become a threat to His kingdom. You will become living proof that miracles still happen, that God still moves supernaturally, that ordinary people can live extraordinary lives when they align with heaven's purposes. So He will throw everything at you. Every fear you've ever had will resurface. Every insecurity will be magnified. Every reason why you shouldn't believe, why you shouldn't hope, why you shouldn't expect divine intervention will be presented to you with compelling logic and seemingly insurmountable evidence. Michael says, this is your moment of choice. This is when you decide whether you will shrink back into spiritual mediocrity or step forward into supernatural abundance. This is when you choose between the comfortable prison of low expectations and the terrifying freedom of limitless possibility. Now, Michael reveals what heaven has been preparing while you've been struggling. While you've been wondering if you were forgotten, the Creator of the universe has been working behind the scenes, orchestrating a comeback so complete, so overwhelming, so undeniably supernatural, that everyone who has ever doubted you, everyone who has ever counted you out, everyone who has ever written off your potential, will have no choice but to acknowledge that the hand of God is upon your life. The first thing you need to understand is that your breakthrough is not singular, it's plural. It's not just one area of your life that's about to transform, it's every area. Your finances, your relationships, your health, your peace of mind, your sense of purpose. Everything is about to align in a symphony of divine favor that will leave you breathless with gratitude. Michael says the money is coming, not just enough to pay your bills, not just enough to get by, but abundant overflow that will make up for every season of lack, every moment of financial stress, every time you've had to choose between necessities because there wasn't enough for both. Heaven has been accumulating your blessings, adding interest to your faith, compounding your patience, and the payout is about to be released in ways that will shock you with their timing and their magnitude. You will receive money from sources you never expected. Old debts will be forgiven. New opportunities will present themselves with terms so favorable you'll wonder if you're dreaming. Investments you forgot about will mature. Inheritance you never knew existed will be discovered. People you barely know will be moved by divine compassion to bless you in ways that make no logical sense but perfect spiritual sense. But the financial breakthrough is just the beginning. Michael says your relationships are about to be revolutionized. Toxic connections that have drained your energy for years are about to dissolve naturally, without drama, without confrontation. They will simply fade away as divine love fills the spaces they once occupied. And into that cleared emotional landscape, heaven will send soul connections so beautiful, so supportive, so aligned with your highest purpose that you'll wonder how you ever survived without them. If you're single and longing for love, your person is not only coming, they're being prepared for you right now. Angels are working in their life, healing their past wounds, clearing their vision, preparing their heart to recognize you when heaven orchestrates your meeting. And when you come together, it won't be just romance, it will be divine partnership, two souls united in purpose, multiplying each other's gifts, creating a love that becomes a testimony to everyone who witnesses it. If you're in a relationship that's been struggling, if you've been wondering whether to hold on or let go, Michael says clarity is coming. Either the healing will be so complete, so transformative, that you'll fall in love all over again, or the release will be so gentle, so filled with mutual understanding that you'll part as friends, each blessing the other's journey toward their true destiny. Your health is about to experience supernatural restoration. That chronic condition that doctors have said you'll have to manage for life. Michael says heaven doesn't recognize incurable. That emotional weight you've been carrying, that depression that has whispered lies about your worth, that anxiety that has stolen your peace, it's about to be lifted by divine hands that specialize in making all things new. You will sleep peacefully for the first time in years. You will wake up with energy that feels like electricity in your veins. You will look in the mirror and see light in your eyes that has been absent for too long. People will comment on how different you look, how much younger you appear, how your very presence seems to radiate hope and vitality. But Michael says the most profound change will be in your sense of purpose. That restlessness you felt, that knowing that you're meant for something more, that calling you've heard but haven't been able to identify clearly, it's about to come into perfect focus. You will understand not just what you're supposed to do, but why you went through everything you've been through, why every pain was necessary, why every delay was actually divine timing. The gifts that have been dormant in you are about to awaken. Talents you didn't know you possessed will emerge. Opportunities to serve, to create, to lead, to inspire will present themselves in rapid succession. You will find yourself in rooms you never thought you'd enter, having conversations with people who can open doors you didn't even know existed. Your family dynamics are about to shift dramatically. Relationships that have been strained will experience miraculous healing. Relatives who have been distant will reach out with open hearts. Generational patterns of dysfunction will be broken through your breakthrough. You will become the answer to prayers that your ancestors prayed, but never saw fulfilled in their lifetimes. Michael reveals that there is a specific date, and it's closer than you think, when everything will begin to accelerate. You will know this date, not by calculation, but by sensing, not by logic, but by the unmistakable feeling that the atmosphere around you has changed, that the spiritual climate has shifted, that breakthrough season has officially begun. On that day, your phone will ring with news that changes everything. On that day, an email will arrive with an opportunity you never applied for. On that day, a conversation will happen that redirects your entire future. On that day, the waiting ends and the receiving begins. But here's what Michael wants you to understand about receiving. It requires space. You cannot pour new wine into old wineskins. You cannot plant new seeds in soil cluttered with old roots. You cannot receive the miraculous while clinging to the mediocre. Heaven needs you to release what is no longer serving you, to make room for what is destined for you. This means forgiving people who don't deserve forgiveness, not for their sake, but for yours. This means releasing grudges that you have every right to hold, not because you're weak, but because you're wise enough to know that unforgiveness is the only chain that binds both the prisoner and the guard. This means letting go of old dreams that were too small for the new vision heaven wants to give you. Michael says your departed loved ones are so excited about what's coming for you that they gather around the throne of grace daily, asking for updates, receiving briefings on your progress, celebrating each step you take toward your miracle. They know things about your future that you haven't even imagined yet. They see the full picture while you see only fragments, and their joy is overflowing because they know how close you are to the moment when you'll understand what they've been seeing all along. Your angels have been preparing a homecoming celebration for your breakthrough, not in heaven, but here on earth. They've been planning the moment when you'll finally understand that you were never forgotten, never forsaken, never outside the reach of divine love. They've been designing the circumstances that will make your vindication so complete, so public, so undeniable, that you'll spend the rest of your life testifying to the goodness of God. The signs that your breakthrough has begun will be unmistakable. You will feel a lightness in your spirit that you haven't felt in years. Colors will seem brighter. Music will sound sweeter. Food will taste better. Sleep will come easier. Laughter will flow more freely. Hope will no longer feel dangerous, but natural. People will notice the change in you before you fully recognize it yourself. They'll comment on your energy, your attitude, your presence. Some will be inspired by your transformation and ask what happened to you. Others, unfortunately, will be threatened by your elevation and may distance themselves or even become hostile. Michael says this is part of the process. As you rise to new levels, you discover who was genuinely for you and who was only comfortable with you when you were at their level or below it. This revelation, though sometimes painful, is actually a gift because it shows you who belongs in your new season and who needs to be left in your past. Your breakthrough will create a ripple effect that extends far beyond your personal life. Family members will be blessed because of what happens to you. Friends will receive overflow from your abundance. Communities will be impacted by your transformation. Generation after generation will benefit from the courage you showed to believe when believing felt impossible. Now comes the most important part of this message, my beloved child. Everything I've shared with you, every revelation Michael has given, every promise heaven has made, depends entirely on what you do in the next few minutes. This is not passive receiving. This is active participation in your miracle. First, you must make a declaration, not just in your mind, but out loud, with your voice, in your space, where the spiritual realm can hear you claiming what heaven has already approved. Michael says your voice carries creative power, and when you speak in alignment with divine will, you release angelic forces that have been waiting for your permission to move on your behalf. Right now, wherever you are, I want you to speak these words with absolute conviction. I receive everything heaven has prepared for me. I break agreement with every limitation that has been placed on my life. I cancel every curse that has been spoken over my destiny. I declare that my season of struggle is over and my season of supernatural breakthrough begins now. Did you feel that shift when you spoke those words? Did you sense something changing in the atmosphere around you? That was not your imagination. That was the sound of spiritual chains breaking. That was the feeling of atmospheric resistance being removed. That was the sensation of your breakthrough being released from the spiritual realm into the physical realm. But Michael says, speaking is only the first step. Faith without works is dead, and your breakthrough requires corresponding action. You must begin to live as if what heaven has promised is already done. You must start making room in your life for the abundance that is coming. You must begin to think, speak, and act like someone whose miracle is not a possibility, but a certainty. This means cleaning out your closets to make space for the new wardrobe that matches your new status. This means organizing your finances to handle the increased income that is coming. This means clearing your schedule to accommodate the opportunities that are about to flood your life. This means preparing your heart to receive the love, the respect, the honor that heaven considers your birthright. I know this might feel presumptuous. I know your logical mind might be saying, what if it doesn't happen? What if I prepare for something that never comes? What if I look foolish for believing in something too good to be true? But Michael says, this is exactly the kind of thinking that blocks breakthrough. This is the voice of fear disguised as wisdom, the voice of past disappointment masquerading as prudence. Your breakthrough requires what Michael calls unreasonable faith, faith that defies logic, faith that contradicts current circumstances, faith that holds on to divine promises even when everything visible suggests and when everything visible suggests those promises. This is the kind of faith that moves mountains, the kind of faith that opens Red Seas, the kind of faith that raises the dead and makes the impossible inevitable. So here's what you're going to do. Within the next 24 hours, you're going to take one concrete action that demonstrates your belief in your breakthrough. You're going to do something that only makes sense if you truly believe that miraculous change is coming to your life. It doesn't have to be big. It can be as simple as updating your resume, as practical as opening a savings account, as symbolic as buying yourself flowers to celebrate what's coming. But you must do something. You must move beyond just believing to actually behaving as if heaven's promises are already in motion in your life. Because Michael says when you demonstrate faith through action, you give angels legal authority to intervene in ways that defy natural laws and human understanding. Now, I want you to understand something crucial about timing. Your breakthrough is not just individual, it's connected to a larger spiritual awakening happening on the earth right now. Millions of souls are simultaneously experiencing divine intervention, supernatural breakthrough, miraculous transformation. You are part of a great harvest of answered prayers that heaven has been preparing for years. This is why the enemy is fighting so hard against your breakthrough. This is why the resistance has been so intense. This is why you felt like you're in a spiritual battle that seems bigger than your personal circumstances. Because you are. Your breakthrough is part of a divine strategy to demonstrate God's power in the earth, to prove that miracles still happen, to show that faith can still move mountains. And here's what makes you so dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. When your breakthrough manifests, when your miracle becomes undeniable, when your transformation becomes a testimony, you won't be able to keep quiet about it. You'll become a living witness to the goodness of God. You'll become proof that heaven still intervenes in human affairs. You'll become a source of hope for everyone who has been tempted to give up on their own dreams. This is your calling, my child. This is why you were chosen for such a profound breakthrough. Not just to be blessed, but to become a blessing. Not just to receive miracles, but to inspire miracle, believing in others. Not just to overcome your struggles, but to become a testimony that helps others overcome theirs. So Michael is commissioning you right now as an ambassador of hope. When your breakthrough comes, and it will come, your first instinct might be to hide it, to downplay it, to act like it's no big deal, because you don't want to seem boastful or make others feel bad about their situations. But Michael says that would be robbing others of the hope they need to see. Your breakthrough is not just for you. It's a message to everyone in your sphere of influence that God is still in the miracle business. Your testimony will be the seed of someone else's faith. Your victory will be the evidence someone else needs to keep believing. Your miracle will be the proof that turns someone else's doubt into unwavering trust in divine goodness. But you must be bold about it. You must be willing to tell the story, to share the testimony, to let people know that what they're seeing in your life is not luck, not coincidence, not good fortune, but the direct intervention of a loving God who specializes in doing the impossible for those who dare to believe. Here's your assignment, and Michael says this is non-negotiable. When your breakthrough begins to manifest, you must tell at least 3 people about it within the first 48 hours. Not to brag, not to show off, but to let them know that miracles are still available, that breakthrough is still possible, that no situation is too hopeless for divine intervention. And you must do more than just tell them. You must pray for their breakthrough too. You must become an intercessor for their miracles. You must use your testimony as a launching pad for their faith. Because Michael says breakthrough is contagious, miracles multiply miracles, and your victory creates a spiritual momentum that can carry others into their own supernatural transformation. If this message is resonating with your spirit, if you feel the truth of it in your bones, if you sense that heaven is speaking directly to your situation through these words, then I need you to do something right now. I need you to comment below with the words, "I am chosen," so that others who read this will know they're not alone in believing for breakthrough. Your declaration will encourage someone else to hold on. Your faith will strengthen someone else's resolve. Don't just watch this message passively. Become an active participant in the miracle that heaven is orchestrating. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Send it to a friend who has been struggling. Let it be the tool that heaven uses to reach someone else who is ready for their breakthrough. Because here's what Michael wants you to understand. You were led to this message, not just to receive from it, but to be a conduit through it. You are not just a beneficiary of divine goodness. You are a distributor of divine hope. Your breakthrough is not just personal, it's prophetic. It's a sign that heaven is moving in the earth in unprecedented ways. The time for small thinking is over. The time for limited believing is finished. The time for accepting less than God's best is done. Your breakthrough season has officially begun, and nothing, not fear, not doubt, not past failures, not current circumstances, not other people's opinions, nothing can stop what heaven has already put in motion for your life. So rise up, my child. Step into the identity that heaven has always seen in you. Walk in the authority that was purchased for you by divine love. Live in the abundance that was planned for you before you were even born. Your breakthrough is not coming, it's here. Your miracle is not distant, it's present. Your transformation is not someday, it's now. As this message comes to a close, Michael wants you to understand that this is not an ending, it's a beginning. This is not the conclusion of your story. It's the introduction to a new chapter that will be so beautiful, so fulfilling, so miraculous, that you'll spend the rest of your life grateful for every struggle that led you to this moment of breakthrough. Right now, as you finish reading these words, heaven is celebrating. Angels are rejoicing, not because your breakthrough is coming, but because you have finally heard, finally received, finally believed the truth about who you are and what you were created for. Your faith, activated by this message, has released supernatural forces that were waiting for your permission to move on your behalf. The transformation has already begun. Even if you can't see it yet with your natural eyes, even if you don't feel dramatically different in this moment, the spiritual shift has occurred. Seeds have been planted in the soil of your heart that will produce harvests beyond your wildest imagination. Doors have been unlocked in the realm of the spirit that will soon open in your physical reality. But Michael says, the most important thing you can do now is protect what you've received. Guard this hope carefully. Shield this faith jealously. Defend this expectation fiercely. Because in the coming days, there will be voices that try to steal it from you. There will be circumstances that seem to contradict it. There will be moments when everything looks the same, and you'll be tempted to think nothing has changed. That's when you must remember this moment. That's when you must recall the feeling you had when truth resonated in your spirit. That's when you must return to the declarations you made, the faith you activated, the breakthrough you claimed. Because your miracle is not dependent on how you feel. It's established by what you believe. Your departed loved ones, who have been orchestrating this divine appointment from the other side, are so proud of you right now. They've watched you struggle with courage, endure with grace, hope against hope, when hope seemed foolish. They've seen you question whether you were forgotten, whether you mattered, whether your life had purpose. And now they're celebrating because you finally heard what they've been trying to tell you all along. You are loved beyond measure. You are destined for greatness. You are chosen for extraordinary things. They want you to know that every tear you've cried has watered the garden of your future. Every prayer you've prayed has been recorded in heaven's books. Every act of kindness you've shown when you felt like giving up has been noted by divine love. None of it was wasted. All of it was preparation for this season of supernatural favor that is now beginning in your life. The signs of your breakthrough will continue to multiply in the coming days and weeks. You'll notice synchronicities everywhere. Numbers, names, songs, conversations that seem to be speaking directly to your situation. Don't dismiss these as coincidences. These are heaven's way of confirming that your miracle is in motion, that your breakthrough is building momentum, that your transformation is happening right on schedule. You'll also notice that people begin treating you differently, even before your circumstances visibly change. They'll show you more respect, more consideration, more kindness. This is because the anointing for breakthrough that is upon your life is affecting the atmosphere around you. People are responding to the divine favor that surrounds you, even if they can't explain why they're drawn to treat you with such honor. Michael says you must steward this season carefully. You must remember that with great blessing comes great responsibility. As your life is supernaturally enhanced, as doors open that were previously closed, as opportunities present themselves that you never could have created on your own, you must remain humble, grateful, and generous. Your breakthrough is not just about personal elevation. It's about becoming a conduit for divine goodness in the earth. As you are blessed, you must bless others. As you receive favor, you must show favor. As you experience miracles, you must believe for miracles in other people's lives. This is how breakthrough becomes legacy, how personal victory becomes generational blessing. In the months ahead, you'll look back on this moment as a turning point, as the day when everything began to shift, as the moment when you finally aligned with heaven's plan for your life. You'll remember reading these words, feeling truth resonate in your spirit, making declarations that changed your spiritual atmosphere forever. And you'll be amazed at how quickly things can turn around when divine intervention is involved. Situations that seemed hopeless will be resolved overnight. People who seemed immovably opposed to your success will either change their hearts or remove themselves from your path. Resources will appear from sources you never expected. Opportunities will present themselves with timing so perfect it takes your breath away. But most importantly, you'll wake up each day with a sense of anticipation instead of dread. You'll go to sleep each night with gratitude instead of worry. You'll face challenges with confidence instead of fear, because you'll know with every fiber of your being that you are supernaturally supported, divinely favored, and destined to overcome. This is your new reality, my beloved child. This is your new normal. This is the life that heaven always intended for you. The life that you were afraid was too good to be true. The life that your soul has been yearning for since the day you were born. Your breakthrough season has officially begun. Your miracle is in motion. Your transformation is underway. And nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop what God has already started in your life. Welcome to your new beginning. Welcome to supernatural favor. Welcome to the life you were always meant to live. Michael says, "It is finished, it is done. It is already yours. Receive it now, in Jesus' name." The warning period is over. The blessing period has begun. Let the miracles commence.